Welcome back to Signs and Wonders and another End Times Prophecy News Update. Thanks for watching, guys. Please take 1 second to smash out that like button before we start. Tons of crazy apocalyptic stories coming out from all over the world in this video, guys. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you stick around. Let's get into it. Catastrophe in Chile after floods damage more than 2,000 homes. More than 2,000 homes have been damaged, and at least one person has unfortunately lost their lives after heavy rains wreaked havoc across south and central Chile over the past couple of days. Bio region is among the worst affected. Southern and central Chile faced heavy downpours over the past week, leaving more than 2,000 homes damaged and forcing authorities to declare a state of catastrophe in several regions of the country. One person lost their life in southern city of Linares on Thursday, June 13th, when a street lamp post fell after long hours of downpours and strong winds. The disaster management services of the country ordered the evacuation of all flooded areas. Canada's second annual LGBT Pride Flag Walkout Day was a roaring success. While a disgusting leftist media blackout has made it hard to determine how many parents kept their children out of school in protest of LGBT pride, Campaign Life Coalition has learned from those on the ground that hundreds stayed home in the Ottawa area alone. There was a widespread media blackout on coverage of our second annual National Pride Flag Walkout Day. Gee, figures. Liberal leftist owned media not covering this, big surprise. But you know what? The truth must be told, and that's why I'm making this video, guys. So these walkout days are held in protest of the insidious LGBT indoctrination taking place in classrooms across Canada, probably in your country too. So we need to band together. And we planned them to coincide with all the days on which schools were likely to raise the LGBT pride flag in honor of transgender and homosexual Pride Month. Believe it or not, each school board would ask for hundreds of dollars if we submitted a FOIA request, Freedom of Information, to demand the absence numbers from May 31st to June 4th. It's big. It's like 75% of parents pulled their kids from school. Not one friggin' leftist media station is reporting this. Could you imagine if it was any other thing that caused 75% of kids to be absent from school? Could you imagine the media coverage that would get if it was for any other thing than parents protesting these schools raising LGBT flags? If it was anything else, they would have media coverage around the clock. It's just absolutely ridiculous, this day and age we live in. I guess the fees are their way of circumventing the Freedom of Information law to ensure that it's difficult for the public to find out what's really going on. In 2023, after the inaugural National Pride Flag Walkout Day, we were able to confirm absence rates between 30 to 75% in many school boards. However, the only reason we were able to get those figures was because journalists spoke to the school officials and teachers unions to obtain the data, and then published the details in news articles. The success of the 2023 walkout then fueled the million-person March 4th children protests on September 20th, 2023, which saw massive parental right rallies at school boards and city halls across Canada. Severe storm floods Palma de Mallorca airport, suspending flights in Spain. The deluge inundated runways and terminals, causing flight cancellations. Flash flooding due to torrential rains on Tuesday caused a suspension of flights at Palma de Mallorca Airport in Mallorca, Spain. This is kind of a big deal when you take into account the size and scale and how busy this airport is. This is the third busiest airport in the country, receiving roughly 31 million passengers last year alone. The weather station at the airport reported 1.96, almost 2 inches of rain per hour. A crime against humanity so horrifying that I don't even have words. When we read about ancient societies such as the Amorites and Canaan, stuff like that, that worship their gods by conducting child sacrifices, many of us recoil or cringe in horror, and as you should. But the truth is that far more children are being snuffed out in our time, and the vast majority of the population seems to be perfectly fine with that. Now, in ancient times, usually in most cases, it wasn't the children that were wanted that were brought to the child sacrifices. Instead, in most cases, such ceremonies were a perfect opportunity to get rid of a child that was not wanted. Today, unwanted children are discarded behind closed doors at the good old clinic. What does a nation that has wiped out more than 60 million kids deserve? According to the World Health Organization, approximately 73 million aborts are being performed around the world every year. At this pace, 730 million children would have been aborted in 10 years. 1.4 billion children would be gone in 20 years, and 7.3 billion children would be wiped out in 100 years. There are only 8 billion people living on the entire globe right now. So we're talking about a slaughter that is truly unprecedented in all of human history. When you fully understand what you have done and you fully understand what we deserve, the importance of this issue finally becomes crystal clear. Horrific jihad attack in Frankfurt. This kind of crap is getting to be a bit much these days, guys. I don't know about you, but I'm getting fed up with all these immigrants and stuff. Especially, they all seem to be like Islamic immigrants, just attacking people for no reason. Like, enough is enough, right? When are we going to learn? In a chilling incident on Monday afternoon, a 19-year-old Afghan immigrant from Afghanistan, jihadi, brutally attacked a woman with a knife, leaving her seriously injured in critical condition. The jihad attack took place on the main riverside promenade, a typically peaceful area. The 41-year-old woman was seated on a park bench minding her own business when the migrant approached her from behind and began stabbing her in the head and the neck with a carpet knife. Despite her desperate attempt to escape, she stumbled and fell, at which point the attacker continued to stab her as she lay on the ground. Passerby, alerted by the woman's screams, rushed to her aid, causing the attacker to flee. Their prompt action and the efficient response of the police led to the suspect being found hiding in a bush on Uxgarvon Miller Strait shortly after the crime. The victim was taken to the hospital and remains there where she's being treated for her serious injuries. So the Islamic suspect, who had no prior criminal record, is currently in custody and being investigated, where he is being held for attempted murder, among other charges. Like I said, the motive behind this unprovoked attack remains unclear. But me personally, I'm just going to go out on a whim here and say, I'm almost willing to bet it had something to do with Quran Surah 47:4, which says, "When you meet the unbelievers, smite their necks until you have crushed them, then bind your captives firmly." How wonderful is that, eh? Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope everybody enjoyed. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Also, don't forget to turn on all your post notifications so that you never miss an upload or live event. If you would like to support the channel in some way, become a channel member, join the Discord, or just get a hold of me personally, the best way to do so is by the links in the video description below. Until next time, God bless.